Ladies and gentlemen, friends, today I want to remind you of something simple yet life-changing. It's not always what we see that shapes our lives, but how we see it. A powerful perspective can turn obstacles into opportunities, pain into purpose, and doubt into destiny. I once heard about a man who lost his job after 20 years at the same company. It felt like the ground had been pulled from under him. He could have chosen to stay bitter, to see himself as a victim, to believe that life had turned its back on him. But instead, he chose a different perspective. He chose to believe that maybe this closed door was guiding him towards something greater. Months later, he started his own small business. It wasn't easy, but he discovered talents he never knew he had, built something of his own, and found joy in places he had never imagined. What changed? His circumstances? No. His perspective. Friends, we can't always choose what happens to us, but we can choose how we see it. That's where the power is. When you look at your life through the lens of faith instead of fear, gratitude instead of grumbling, and hope instead of hopelessness, everything starts to shift. Challenges don't look so final. Setbacks don't seem so overwhelming. Suddenly, you realize that what looked like the end might actually be a new beginning. Think about a seed planted in the ground. To someone watching, it might seem buried, forgotten under the weight of the soil. But inside, something beautiful is happening. That darkness isn't the end, it's the start of growth. Just because you can't see the progress doesn't mean it isn't there. Sometimes life feels like you've been buried, but really, you've been planted. And if you hold on to a powerful perspective, you'll rise up stronger than before. Maybe today, you're facing a disappointment, a betrayal, or a dream that feels delayed. You could look at it and say, "This is too much, it's not fair." Or you could choose to say, "This may be difficult, but it's not the end. I know there's a purpose. I know something good can come from this." That choice, that perspective, changes everything. You see, your perspective shapes your words, your attitude, and your decisions. And over time, those decisions shape your destiny. When you expect good things, you're more likely to see them. When you speak life over your situation, you give hope a chance to grow. And when you trust that every setback carries a seed of possibility, you'll discover strength you never knew you had. So, my encouragement to you today, don't let your circumstances define your vision. Don't let disappointment write your story. Lift your eyes. Choose to see through the lens of hope and faith. Even in darkness, trust that you're being prepared for something greater. Because when you change your perspective, you won't just see your life differently, you'll live your life differently. And that, my friends, is where true transformation begins.